All right, so the next chapter, chapter 10, is simply just called Strider, which is the ranger name of Aragorn, name that he's using as an alias because he doesn't tell anybody about who he really is. And so anyway, Frodo, Pippin, and Sam go to their room, and Strider's waiting on them. And of course, Sam is very, very suspicious of Strider and doesn't like that. Strider is saying, "Hey, I know your real name. I know who you are. I know what you're carrying, and I can help you." And Frodo's a little reluctant, and Sam really does not like Strider. And and Strider tells him, I tried to come talk to you earlier, but the innkeeper wouldn't let me in to see you. He tells Frodo, I know about the Black Riders, that they're hunting you. He's like, look, you're not going to be able to get to Rivendell on your own, but I can help you if you take me on as a guide. I'm going to tell you what I know, and I'm hoping that you will trust me and take me with you as your guide. And it's at this point that Butterbur comes in and says, oh yeah, here's what I forgot to tell you. Gandalf left me a letter to send to you in the Shire back in June, but I couldn't get anyone to go, and time passed, and I forgot about it. And so he's given the letter, and he's like, these Black Riders have been here, and they're looking for Baggins. Frodo's like, yeah, that is me. But you better keep that quiet, and he will. Butterbur is a really decent guy. Even Tom Bombadil vouched for the guy, so you can trust him, I think. And it's just, even Gandalf says in the letter that sometimes he kind of forgets things, and and even he says it himself, and he says, hey, I'm a very busy man. Obviously he's running this very popular inn that everyone's coming to when they're traveling through Bree. Can't go and deliver this letter himself. And of course, this is where Strider, of course, is hiding at first, but then he reveals himself when Butterbur says, yeah, Strider tried to come and see you, but I wouldn't let it. And, but anyway, and then when he finds out that they're thinking about taking Strider on as a guide, he's like, well, you know your business, maybe, said Mr. Butterbur, looking suspiciously at Strider. But if I was in your plight, I wouldn't take up with a ranger. Then who would you take up with? Asked Strider. A fat innkeeper who only remembers his own name because people shouted at him all day? I like how they do it in the animated movie. It's pretty funny. And Butter's like, I fear these Black Riders were coming from, and Strider says, yeah, Mordor. And Butterbur, agrees to help Frodo out. Anyway, he leaves. Frodo then reads the letter that Gandalf had wrote him. Gandalf says, bad news has reached me here. I must go off at once. You had better leave Baggins soon and get out of the Shire before the end of July at latest. I will return as soon as I can, and I will follow you if I find that you are gone. Leave a message for me here if you pass through Bree. You can trust the landlord Butterbur. You may meet a friend of mine on the road, a man, lean, dark, tall, by some called Strider. He knows our business and will help you. Make for Rivendell. There I hope we may meet again. If I do not come, Elrond will advise you. And then there's, of course, a postscript where he tells him to do not use the ring ever again. Of course, Frodo has done that twice now. Don't travel by night. Well, he's done that. And then, of course, make sure that this is my friend Strider is the real Strider, because there's imposters out there, I'm sure. And there's a poem that I want to kind of go over a little bit. It's a short little poem. We find out later that this was written by Bilbo. They don't show it in the movie, but Bilbo and Aragorn know each other. They're friends. I kind of wish that they had worked that in there somehow. But part of this poem is quoted in the movie. It goes, "All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost." This is, of course, a description of Aragorn himself. He may not look like much, but he's something, all right? From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king. A light from the shadows. You know, Aragorn lives in the shadows. Obviously, he's the light. It's kind of, in a way, making him sound like Jesus, in a way. And there are 3 characters in this book who do resemble certain aspects of the Lord. Obviously, Aragorn would be him as the returning king, obviously. The other 2 being, of course, Gandalf and Frodo. And when we get through the book, especially at the end, you'll see the similarities there. I mean, obviously, if you've seen the movies, you know Gandalf dies and comes back. I mean, Christ dying and resurrecting. But anyway, so it all gets settled in the end that yes, this is the real Strider, and he shows them the broken sword and reveals that his name is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and that he's going to help them. And of course, the broken sword is Narsil, the blade that cut the ring from Sauron's hand. And Aragorn says, someday it will be reforged, and it will, but it will be at a different point in the story than what you've seen in the movie. And even here, and then here, they continue to talk and about Gandalf, and even Aragorn is worried about Gandalf. He usually doesn't disappear like this without saying anything. And we should know something by now. He says, "I do not know of anything else that could have hindered him except the enemy himself," said Strider. "But do not give up hope. Gandalf is greater than you Shire folk know. As a rule, you can only see his jokes and toys. But this business of ours will be his greatest task." Because Gandalf isn't what he appears to be. And of course, at this point in the story, they're like, wait a minute, where's Merry? He's been gone all night. Well, Merry comes back, and the Hobbit butler Nob, I guess not really a butler, but he works for Bartleman. And Merry says, "I've seen the Black Riders, and they attacked me and tried to drag me away." Oh, Nob even said, it was the one that says that. He's like, "I saw this something lying in the road and some man trying to drag it away, and it was near Bill Ferny's house." So that's when we know, yeah, Bill Ferny's in league with the ring rates. Because like I said before, I think him and the Squint-Eyed Southerner were working for Saruman. In Unfinished Tales, Tolkien writes that they got waylaid by the Witch King, and basically he forced the Squint-Eyed Southerner into spying for him. And so Bill Ferny, is connected to all this and everything. And so Nob and Strider go off and to the Hobbit's room and make pretend versions of them basically, to kind of make it look like that they're in bed sleeping, because they suspect the Ringwraiths are going to attack. And that's basically where this chapter ends. And yeah, there's But yeah, I've always, this is always the part of the book that I love. When we get to Strider, I love that part. He's one of my favorite characters in this book, in these books, this book, whatever. And like, I usually, when I'm reading the book, I kind of drag a little bit as I'm reading it until I get to this point, and then I'm just like, I can't stop at this point. But anywho, that covers all of this for this week. So I'm going to try to get some more reading done, do some more videos next week, and just keep on rolling. So that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all later.